The sewer line inspection is for 4136 McConnell Avenue in Culver City. I have entered the main sewer line system through a 4-inch ABS cleanout access located outside the back guest house. At this point, we're at the city connection that's at the street in front of the house. We're looking for any defects in the sewer line system, that being roots, breaks, cracks, shoves, anything that could be a potential hazard. Looks like they did a sewer liner into the public line. This stuff we see here at the bottom and in the corners is just built up from that process. That being said, um, it may need to be fixed with the blade because those sharp edges are at the bottom and on the side of the pipe, which can create a stoppage, not immediately, but on the long term, it can cause stuff to get caught up in there. But so far, we don't see anything building up in there, but it's something to be noted. This portion of the sewer line, it's the 6-inch lateral. This is the portion that runs under the street, between the sidewalk and the street. It's original to the house, 6-inch clay pipe. It looks in good condition, although it's original to the house. I have flushed the toilet several times, run water to test that the sewer line is running and is flowing as intended. There's a foot count at the bottom left corner of the screen. Tells me how far away we are. So if you pay attention to that from the beginning of the inspection, the foot count starts to roll back. That's because we started recording from the most remote area, that being the city sewer. We're trying to inspect the whole way and then do a recording on the way back to keep anything from blocking our view. So far that 6-inch line looks good, but here we have a slight offset, which is typical. A lot of these defects are typical to find. The pipe, this type of pipe does not move in any way. Once it's put in, it stays that way because it doesn't flex. So it's typical to see little bit offsets like that. Now we're gonna start coming up into the 4-inch line. This will be the inside portion of the sidewalk. That's what is defined as the property line. That's where the house property ends and the public area begins. So right now we're inside the 4-inch line. There's signs of stress on this pipe if you pay attention. That's right about the middle of the screen at the bottom. You see some cracking that is going on in there. You can see right here. You can see the entire pipe around it. Looks like it's cracked. That is a fitting, I should say. I think it's a combi or a Y fitting. It's intended to turn down because it's going to take a little small dive like this. That's going down. So if I pull it back up, you can see there's some kind of pressure point in there. It's causing the pipe, or it caused the pipe to break. Although it's broken or cracked, all the pieces are still there. But that being said, it's a potential problem as that section can crumble due to um, exterior pressure. And that's the end of the fitting. You can see the difference when it's it's intended to be like that with that that gap between two pieces of pipe, and then you can see that crack here. This will be under the front yard, coming back towards the house, on the left side of the house when you're facing the house from the back, or on the right side when facing it from the street. I should say I seen a lot of this stuff building up as like tissue buildup. There's some areas in the sewer line where there's not sufficient slope to let everything roll, so some of the solids like paper, toilet paper and tissue, anything that it's solid enough to settle, it'll settle. You can see how in here there's water pulling. There shouldn't be any water standing in the pipe because it keeps stuff from flowing. But again, this is an original pipe, so we can't say whether this is a problem in progress or it was installed this way. Sometimes because the soil moves and it moves around and causes things to settle, especially the pipes. Normally these pipes settle a little bit. There's some root intrusion here on my right hand corner and on the top. I don't know, I can't say whether these roots have been cut or they're in their beginning process of growing into the pipe. This is all 4-inch clay pipe. Again, there's another area here where water settles. You can see how half the camera it's under the water. And again, a little bit more roots there. And there. So far the line looks okay, it's working as intended, but it may need to be further evaluated. Um, that means scoped again with the camera, maybe like a year or two from now. There's a shift here. If you've been paying attention to the video, when the pipe is nice and straight, the camera just glides through. But when there's a shift in the pipe, where the pipe in front it's higher than the one in the back, it causes like a step up reaction where water pools and the camera needs to be pushed in with force so that it can jump up, like here. At this point you can see how the entire camera is underwater. Again, a lot of these problems are typical in original lines, but this one here looks like it's a new portion of sewer line, so at some point it was replaced and maybe the connection wasn't done properly, so it shifted down a little bit. And again it transitions again to the original clay pipe. There's roots there too. At this point we're like in the backyard already. I'm already coming back towards the clean out axis that we use. Again, this is another section of replaced pipe. has a step 2, meaning that maybe it wasn't lined up properly. And again, it's a little bit more roots there. That root problem is not very significant at this point, but like I said, this line should be inspected again maybe 16 months to 2 years from now, just to see what the line looks like, if everything is staying the same, or if the problems are getting progressively worse. When I get this camera out of this sewer line, what I'm going to do is take a shot of the surroundings to verify that this camera came out of this sewer line for this address here. As you can tell, this is an uninterrupted video, unedited, uncut, from the beginning to the end. This concludes our video inspection.